Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we will be giving my predictions for the 2021 Super Bowl number 55 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Inside this video, I'm going to kind of give my overall thoughts on how this game is going to go down and who I think is going to end up winning the Super Bowl, as well as kind of my thoughts at what each team would need to do in order to win this Super Bowl matchup. Now, before we get into it, I'd like to ask if that at any point inside this video that you guys end up enjoying, to please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, because not only is it free, I put out content every single day to help you guys win your fantasy championships. And if you guys don't play fantasy football, maybe you just want NFL content, that's on there as well. I try to post all the breaking news as it happens in the NFL. I was the first person on YouTube to break Matthew Stafford requesting a trade from the Detroit Lions, so I always try to be on top of it. I'm always on my computer to make sure that you guys get the most up-to-date news pretty much the second that Adam Schefter tweets it out, so make sure that you guys do go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Quick interruption, guys, I forgot to say this in the video, but please make sure that you let me know down below in the comments who you think is going to win Super Bowl 55. Is it the Kansas City Chiefs, or is it the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? And let me know your score prediction for the game, and then at the end of the video, comment again. Maybe I swayed you one way towards the team I think is going to win, or maybe you got swayed the other way. You're fading me. Let me know down below in the comment section. And so this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Kansas City Chiefs, will be the first time in NFL history that we see a team that is playing in the Super Bowl play at their own home stadium, being played in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay for the Buccaneers. This could have happened before, I believe. There were some close chances, but it never ended up happening. So this is pretty cool, obviously, as that'll be some trivia question you hear on Jeopardy a couple of years from now, and just something interesting to know. So as this game breaks down, we have the Kansas City Chiefs favored by 3.5 based on the opening line, and the money line being -175 for the Chiefs, plus 140 for the Bucs, and the point total being 57.5. I find that important to kind of try to figure out who you think is going to be winning the game. Obviously, Vegas assumes that the Chiefs, with a very outstanding 2021 season, are going to win the Super Bowl. But before we kind of try to understand who's going to win the game this time, I think it's important to actually go ahead and talk about what happened the first time these two teams faced off this season. These two teams faced off in November of this season when the Chiefs were 10-1 and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were 7-5 at this time. And interesting enough, this game was also played in Tampa Bay, so a rematch inside of the exact same stadium. The Kansas City Chiefs defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 27-24. And I know you might be thinking, Nick, this was a very close game, but in reality, it was quite the contrary. The Kansas City Chiefs scored 17 points in the first quarter to 0 by Tampa Bay. Then Tampa answered with 7 points, but the Kansas City Chiefs still scored 3 points in that quarter. And then the Bucs scored 3 points in the third quarter, and the Chiefs scored 7. And then what happened in the fourth quarter was the Chiefs were kind of just out of the game. They were just trying to win here, slow the game down, and the Buccaneers scored 14 points to put the total to 27-24. So the Kansas City Chiefs obviously won that first matchup off the hands of Patrick Mahomes, 37 for 49 for 462 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and 0 INTs. If you guys remember, this was the game where Tyreek Hill absolutely cooked the Buccaneers and ate them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and dessert as well. 13 receptions on 15 targets for 269 yards, very nice, and 3 total touchdowns. Kelsey 8 for 82 in this game. For Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, 27 of 41 for 345, 3 touchdowns, and 2 INTs, which were obviously costly in this L since they only lost by 3 points. But again, when you kind of analyze the game, you can see that the Chiefs were really in control from the get-go, especially starting off the game 17-0. Ronald Jones, 9 for 66 in this game. Gronk was dominant, 6 for 106, who we kind of have seen be quiet recently. Godwin, 8 for 97. Mike Evans, 3 for 50. So again, the biggest takeaway from this game was the Chiefs got up early and dominated this game. But will the Buccaneers be able to overcome the first time these two teams played, or do we kind of see the same type of matchup in the Super Bowl 55? So the first time team I want to talk about here is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and what, in my opinion, their way they are going to end up winning this matchup is going to be. So first, we have to look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady made multiple mistakes last week up against the Green Bay Packers, causing them to potentially lose a game that they were really, in my opinion, just playing much better than the Packers in. Now, obviously, the Packers made a decision late in the game that ultimately sealed the fate of the Green Bay Packers season by not putting the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands and instead trusting the defense by kicking a field goal late in the game, when in reality, they should have ended up going and trying to score that touchdown to put them up in the game and make Tampa Bay, Tom Brady, drive deep down the field. They obviously ended up not doing that, and the Bucs ultimately won the game because of that. Tom Brady, though, was looking shaky, threw multiple picks in this game, threw a bunch of bad balls, and in reality didn't look amazing. But still, the guy's 40,000 years old. He's been playing since the fucking dinosaurs roamed the earth, and he has been insane this season, just for a normal quarterback and for a guy of the age of Tom Brady. So Tom Brady normally plays good in the Super Bowl, so the Tom Brady factor of him kind of looking like shit. This is his first NFC championship game, guys. Come on. He's been in a million AFC championship games. This was his first NFC one, and he has as many wins as Breeze and Rodgers in the NFC championship games. Keep that in mind. Very interesting. Now, I'm not some type of Tom Brady dick sucker, whereas Hogg's coming down here and I'm just blowing him. No, I'm a Dolphins fan. Dan Marino's in the background, but I do respect Tom Brady. So Tom Brady is a big part of this game, but I don't feel like we can really think he's going to do bad, because when's the last time Tom Brady played bad in the Super Bowl? Maybe you can say against the Rams, but again, they dominated that game and won pretty handily. Patriots, that is. So I don't really see really a knock on any of Tom Brady's Super Bowl performances. Against Foles, they lose, but the guy put up 7 zillion yards. So again, not really on Tom Brady. Another big thing for the Bucs, this is probably the biggest thing, is you have to make sure that you shut down Mr. Tyreek Hill. I mean, I just talked about it. Tyreek Hill literally slapped up the Bucs so hard that it was unreal. I think that Tyreek Hill might have left a tattoo on the ass of the Bucs defense like his name was Lana Rhodes. Get it? How Lana Rhodes has that tattoo on her ass? If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? So, again, Tyreek, 13 of 269, 3 touchdowns, and 15 targets. Tyreek also ate this week up against the Buffalo Bills. He did not put up, obviously, 269 yards, but he was very dominant in this performance. 9 for 162, 0 touchdowns, though, on 11 targets. So this guy is clearly a force to be reckoned with in this game. He is a very vital part of this offense. Another vital part of this offense is Travis Kelce, who they will also need to be shutting down in this game. If the Buccaneers are able to shut down Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, I think that the Chiefs will lose this game and Tom Brady will come out victorious. Travis Kelce, 8 for 82 in that first matchup. This week, the guy absolutely ate again. Both him and Tyreek Hill over 100 yards on that matchup up against the Buffalo Bills. And the final kind of note on the Buccaneers and what they need to do to win this game is probably just go ahead and let Tom Brady throw the ball, let Tom Brady control the fucking game, and try to run the ball. Now, the rushing game was not working all that well. You need to make sure you just feed one or the other. Whoever's hot, feed Ronald Jones if he's hot, feed Uncle Lenny Fournette if he is not hot. Leonard Fournette, they're calling him playoff fucking Leonard Fournette because of how good this guy's been playing recently. So I think those are kind of the 3 assets of the game. You need to understand that Tom Brady is going to play well, and there's probably no doubt about that. You need to make sure that that happens, though. You need to make sure that you shut down the main wide receivers of the Kansas City Chiefs, being Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. And if I'm being honest with you, if you can shut down Travis Kelce, I mean, if you can really shut down Mr. Hill, then you can kind of push Kelce off the line. That's something we didn't see the Bills doing. The Bills weren't really checking into him, just fucking hitting him off the line, making sure he's kind of off his route, and then maybe Hill's not going to be able to beat you, so you're going to be in a good game there if you're able to stop those two guys. Now, that is a humongous ask, because just stopping one of these motherfuckers is going to take a brick wall, but we need to see Bruce Arians come out there and coach well. The Bucs defense has been very good, and again, the third step is definitely the defense of the Buccaneers or the offense of the Buccaneers, I would say, trying to establish the run and actually running well with the hot hand. It's so stupid. You see Fournette running for 1,000,000 yards, then you put in Rojo, and he just plays like shit. You want to know why? Because he's not really ready to go. But then Ronald Jones will be hot, and then he brings in Rojo, or Ronald Jones will be hot, he'll bring in Fournette, who's kind of not doing too well. It's just stupid. Just roll with the one guy. I understand you can't just use the same guy the whole game, but try to make sure, I hope at least, that Bruce Arians uses these running backs correctly if they want to win this game. Now, how did the Chiefs win this game? The Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year. The offense was unreal. Their defense was getting their shit clapped in late in the game by Jimmy Garoppolo, early in the game, I should say, and then ultimately the defense really stepped up. And the saying is defenses win championships, so you would have to think that, in my opinion at least, the Buccaneers have the better defense of these two sides. So, the thing is, the Chiefs' offense is going to have to play how they've been playing all year. It does not seem to matter at all for the Chiefs if they're down 9-0 like they were against the Bills. Doesn't matter. They were down last year up against the Houston Texans in that divisional game. They were down by, 24? And by halftime, they were winning. By fucking halftime. If someone told you that some other team did that, you would be amazed. But for the Chiefs, it is just the normal. So it does not matter at all how the Chiefs start this game. They could be down 21-0, and I would still think that Patrick Mahomes was going to win this game because of how strong this motherfucker is in the playoffs. He literally won a game while concussed, in my opinion. That's how good he was. So the keys to success for the Chiefs is to understand that you need to just get rid of your brain and stop giving Clyde Edwards-Helaire 7 million carries unless you're like in between the 20s. Just seems like this guy can't rush the ball going up the field. He was getting like 2 yards a carry. Sure, he ended up scoring in that game. Sure, he did a sick dance in the end zone. But at the end of the day, that shit is not going to cut it when you're running 1,000,000 times. Give it to Darrell Williams, who was very dominant in that game. I think that he is going to be a big part of the success for this team. And they are also going to be down one of their offensive linemen, who seems like he tore his Achilles in that matchup up against the Buffalo Bills. So that is obviously something to note. So the biggest things for the Chiefs to win this game is just don't get plowed by Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Make Brady throw it to guys like Scotty Miller. Make Brady throw it to these other guys, because while Scotty Miller did not make any mistakes up against the Green Bay Packers, it's more likely than that guy is going to drop one of the game-winning catches opposed from Mike Evans, like we saw kind of fucking up a little bit up against the Green Bay Packers. So you got to make sure you eliminate those two guys, and as long as your offense continues to score 7 million points, like I think they will, and as long as they run with the right running back in this game, I see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers being finito, as they would say. I genuinely think that this is going to be the Chiefs' win. That is my prediction of Super Bowl 55. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs run it back turbo, 2-time champ, 2 times in a row for Pat Mahomes, 2 rings, and then he'll get a third and he can eat a W like Jameis Winston. To me, this game is going to be amazing. Now, I'm seeing people trying to bet the under. I never bet the under in football. Actually, I do, but I try not to because I like interesting games, and I think this is going to be a very interesting Super Bowl, even if it doesn't go over 57.5, because fucking spoiler alert, that's a very high-scoring game when you come down and think about it. So I think that the Chiefs are going to ultimately win this game, but I think it is going to be a nail-biter that really comes down to if the Chiefs' defense is able to play as good as I think they will up against the Buccaneers, and if Tyreek Hill is able to cook up Mr. Buccaneers' defenders. If he's able to do that again, if he's able to cook these corners, I think it is finito for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and ultimately, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers end up losing here. I think Tom Brady's 10th Super Bowl, he loses, still has 6 rings, no one's going to doubt him, no one's doubting him anymore. I feel like he cemented himself as the GOAT, even though he already is the GOAT, right? All you see is these old heads on Twitter, old heads everywhere, talking about Steve Young, talking about Joe Montana, talking about Roger Staubach or something like that, saying they're the best quarterback of all time. But frankly, right now it's Tom Brady. But this could be a nice torch passing like they're running in the Olympics. Brady, the GOAT, hands it to Mahomes, who's going to be the GOAT in like 5 years. If this guy wins another fucking Super Bowl, it's unreal. It is really unreal. He's played in 3 NFL seasons, and he could have 2 Super Bowls this fast. It's like you're playing fucking Madden career mode. That's how unreal Patrick Mahomes' start to his NFL career has been. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know down below who wins Super Bowl 55. 5. Let me know who takes it home. Do the Bucks take it at home, or do the Kansas City Chiefs go back-to-back Michael Jordan 96-97? Have a great rest of your guys' day. I do love you all, and as always, goodbye. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Goodbye.